them.
Does that include my cafe?
There are some exemptions for certain companies, but don't worry. There's lots of guidance on the government's website about who needs to file. Check out fincen.gov/BOI. Filing is easy and free. It took me less than 20 minutes.
Looks like I do have to file. Thanks, Jamie. It's great having a supportive business community.
Reporting beneficial ownership information helps protect U.S. national security. Filing is quick, secure, and free. And it's the law. Learn more at fincen.gov/BOI.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
Last night, another win was added to the puzzle.
Giancarlo Stanton has showed in his career that when October rolls around on the calendar, he is able to thrive.
Seems like when he gets to the postseason, he's a bottom-line type guy.
Giancarlo Stanton was the piece the Yankees needed in Game 3.
Swung on and hit in the air to left center deep. It's going to land right at the base of the wall. Rounding third, Soto. He's coming home. It is an RBI double by Stanton.
He's so good at locking in these big games. You know, he's done it throughout his career with us. I thought that at bat off Bubic was just phenomenal. I think he went up there looking to do damage, looking to do just that, and just put a great swing on it.
She's gone. A Stantonian home run. Giancarlo. No sequels to follow.
If the Yankees go far in this postseason, that will be one of the biggest hits that they will have.
Ball game over. Yankees win. They take a 3-2 lead in the best-of-5 series.
Now, only 9 more pieces to go. 9 more wins to complete their championship puzzle.
This is what I came here for, so we need to wrap it up tomorrow. No wiggle room, and we got to get it done.
Giancarlo Stanton definitely got a piece of one in Game 3, and if the Road Warrior Bombers can take care of business again tonight, there will be a very happy flight back to the Bronx on tap. Stanton got them airborne last night, launching a go-ahead homer in the 8th for his latest magical postseason moment. But the job's not done yet, with Bobby Witt Jr. of the Royals hoping to play spoiler. It is Game 4 of the American League Division Series, and a victory by the Yanks would punch their ticket to the next round. Let's get you ready for the Yankees and Royals on a Thursday night at Kauffman Stadium. And we certainly hope you're having a great night as we welcome you to the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Bob Lorenz, John Flaherty, Jack Curry, and Michael Kay with you. Yanks with a close win last night. They take the series advantage in a pivotal Game 3, 2-1, and now a chance to close it out with the ace on the mound in Garrett Cole.
Bob, if you're a player in that clubhouse right now, there is a quiet confidence that you're going to close this series out tonight. Why are you confident? Well, you have your ace out on the mound who did not look like himself in Game 1. You have your MVP, Aaron Judge, who's going to win that award, who hasn't done anything in this series, and you're up 2-1. They feel like they have a confident group in there that's going to get it done tonight.
That's why I think they need to play with an urgency. I've thought that since before the postseason began. But before Game 1, I posed that question to Garrett Cole. I said, with this being the only season in which you're guaranteed to have Juan Soto, how much of an urgency is there for you guys to win it all? And Cole said, I haven't really thought about it. I'm too busy trying to live in the moment. Well, guess what? As he's living in the moment, he is so vital to what the Yankees are trying to accomplish. He will be the most important player on the field tonight for the Yankees because, Michael, he can set the tone.
Well, I agree with you. And in Billy Joel's voice, you have to say it's all about Cole. That's what it is. And I think he's going to pitch better than he did in Game 1 for the very reason he had so much time off. He didn't use that as an excuse. I will. He's going to be pitching on normal rest. This is why you have him. This is why he's a Cy Young Award winner. Pitch games like this. Make the Yankees avoid a Game 5. Get themselves together and get ready for the ALCS against either the Guardians or the Tigers. This is his game. And as you guys just alluded to, the Yankees are up 2-1. Honestly, they haven't played a great game. Only the bullpen's been great. Everybody else, Other than Stanton, they've not gotten the big hit. They've had 22 walks. They just have not put it all together, and they're still 1 win away.
Well, you mentioned it's Cole's moment tonight, potentially. Last night it was Giancarlo Stanton. We opened the show talking about it. He's our Audi clutch performer. And Flash, he's always so honest, and he doesn't always have great moments, but he's ready for them when they can happen.
Yeah, the postseason, he's been a monster, though, and this is a drive to left center field off the wall. That's going to get the Yankees going as Soto scores easily. And the one thing we've been talking about all year, who's going to be the guy hitting behind Soto and Judge to get it done? Well, last night it was Giancarlo Stanton, 2 hits already. Now he mixes in a stolen base. But the huge swing of the bat and the difference maker last night against Bubic, a slider out over the plate, just absolutely demolished to left field. Giancarlo Stanton was the star of the game last night.
Well, he obviously will be back in the starting lineup for Game 4 against Michael Wacha. We take a look at the Yankees starting lineup brought to you by Toyota, where Stanton in 30 career postseason games with the Yanks, 12 home runs, 27 runs batted in, and a .964 OPS. Gleyber Torres homered off Michael Wacha in Game 1, if you remember. Then Anthony Volpe on base last night with a single and 2 walks. So, Jack, as they look for production from spots other than Soto and Judge, you get the feeling that there might be certain guys coming around.
Yeah, up and down that lineup, the Yankees are still looking for those consistent at-bats that we've talked about, having a sustainable inning where 4, 5, 6 batters in a row are doing something. And Wacha will be a challenge tonight, although I think when the Yankees look at the approach they took at him in Game 1, it was about getting to him early, and they did. They had 2nd and 3rd in the first inning, and they didn't capitalize. The one change in the lineup tonight, obviously, is Birdie. They have gone Cabrera, Birdie at first base. The reason they go Birdie tonight is because Wacha's got those reverse splits. Boone said he wanted the right-handed batter in there.
Well, if you look up and down the sheet, there's 2 Yankees with great numbers against Wacha. DJ LeMahieu and Anthony Rizzo. They're not playing. Everybody else really does struggle against him, particularly Aaron Judge, who's 1 for 20. So if he has a bad game today, you can't sit there and go, oh, it's another postseason game. He has not ever had great at-bats against Wacha, who changes speeds, has a good changeup. But again, he did have runners on base, and the Yankees didn't get the big hit in Game 1. This is their opportunity, although Wacha pitches better in Kansas City.
Yeah, Aaron Judge is getting a lot of the negative attention because he hasn't had that big moment. But I would also argue that Juan Soto had those 3 hits in Game 1, but he hasn't had that big moment that we're waiting for that he's been giving us all year long. So he hasn't been in the category of Aaron Judge, but you're still waiting for that big moment from Soto.
All right, we got a lot to talk about here, but right now let's get it out to Kansas City. Meredith Marakovitz standing by with the clubhouse report. And Meredith, coming into this series, 2 big talking points: first base, which we've already talked about a little bit, and left field. So what are the talking points in terms of those positions tonight?
Well, Bob, as you guys already noted, it's going to be Jon Berti out there. Aaron Boone said that's really what he deliberates most going into each game, who he's going to use at first base. We've seen Cabrera out there twice. This is now the 2nd start for Berti. And Aaron Boone said he's been extremely pleased with what they've brought defensively, especially considering both of those guys. It's not a natural position for them. Jon Berti, well, he made his first start of his career ever in Game 2 of the ALDS, but they felt like he looked just as comfortable out there in a game situation as he did when they were doing the workouts throughout that week as they were waiting for that Game 1 to come around. So they've kind of solved that a little bit. It seems like it'll be a game-by-game situation. Whoever Aaron Boone feels best about that day, that's who is going to make the start. As far as left field, you wondered coming into this series, was it going to be Jason Dominguez or was it going to be Alex Verdugo? And Aaron Boone answered that fairly quickly, and Alex Verdugo had a nice Game 1 of this series. He is going to be the guy. He's going to continue to be the guy for the foreseeable future. And he was at the podium earlier today. I asked him about what the mentality is in that clubhouse, considering the Yankees have put themselves in a good position to punch their ticket to the ALCS tonight.
We feel good. Obviously, we feel confident. You know, yesterday was a big game for us, kind of a one to make you feel a little bit more settled. So today we understand we're in a good spot, but we're not taking it for granted. We're gonna still preparing the right way. You know, vibes are good, but working hard and getting ready for this. You know, treating this like a must-win game too.
And Aaron Boone essentially echoed those sentiments, saying it is simple. We are thinking about tonight. We are thinking about Game 4. We want to go out there and win tonight. We're not even thinking about a potential Game 5. Aaron Boone was also asked, in the event that there is a Game 5, are you committed to Carlos Rodon as your starter? He just looked and smiled and said, we're at Game 4. We're worried about that right now. So, Bob, clearly they would like to wrap this up tonight here at Kauffman Stadium and not have it go back to Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. If they're able to do so, they'll have off until Game 1 of the ALCS, which they'll host on Monday at Yankee Stadium if they can get the job done.
Well, they talked about confidence, and you can certainly see that, knowing that the way you're playing, you still can hit better, and you've got your ace, Garrett Cole, on the mound tonight. Now, he pitched Game 1. This is a rematch of Game 1 between he and Michael Wacha. He pitched okay, but we also know Cole always makes great adjustments between starts. Is that what the Yankees are thinking about tonight?
Bob, you better believe he wants another opportunity at this Royals lineup. You look at that first game of this series, and certainly he wasn't as sharp as we've seen him in the past. Cole is set to make his 19th start of the postseason tonight, second of this series. And in that first one, the Royals were extremely aggressive, especially early on. It seemed like they were jumping on pitches early, and Garrett Cole just missing a little bit. I had the opportunity to catch up with Yankees pitching coach Matt Blake to ask him about those potential adjustments and what Cole has to do tonight to succeed, Bob.
Just a little higher degree of execution. I think we're probably in the big part of the play a little too much. They were aggressive with us, so a lot of contact early in counts. I think just being aware of how they're going to attack him helps, and obviously he's an accomplished pitcher who's really good at making adjustments, so I think we'll see him maybe get to the edges a little bit better.
How badly do you think he wants the ball tonight?
Well, I think these are the moments he lives for. Obviously it's a challenge for him. Maybe didn't have the outing he wanted to lead us off, but now he's got a chance to win a series here, so hopefully put his best foot forward.
What is it about this lineup? Because it seems like they could be pesky.
Yeah, it's a lot of guys that they put the ball in play. They don't strike out a lot, so you got to catch the ball at a high rate and try and find the ways to minimize the contact quality. So far, we've been able to do that.
When you look at the last outing, how much of it do you think that the lack of the pinpoint execution that he typically has, do you think that had to do with the layoff that he had?
Yeah, I'm sure there's some of that. Obviously he's a creature of habit, and for a guy that's as detailed as he is, his routine is really consistent. So when you get on a 9-day routine, it's a little bit different in terms of when you're throwing bullpens or lives. So I think just getting back on a regular 5-day and having a little more information on how they're going to approach him goes a long way.
Matt, your bullpen has been outstanding so far this series. What has impressed you most about the pen?
I think it's just been everybody. They've all taken their turn. Obviously, Clay, Tommy, and Weave have picked up the bulk of it. But they've come in, they've thrown strikes, they've gotten weak contact, and they have limited the free bases, so that's been huge.
You mentioned Luke Weaver, 5-out save yesterday. Any hesitation at all to go back to him today?
We'll check in with him. The nice thing is all three of those guys were pretty efficient yesterday, so I think in a Game 4 with an off day tomorrow, I think they'd all be available to some degree.
How you feeling going into tonight, knowing you can punch your ticket to the ALCS, Matt?
We're feeling good, but obviously there's a lot of work to do. Obviously we want to take care of business tonight, and obviously get started off with Garrett and go from there.
And Bob, we really can't say enough about what this bullpen has done so far this series. They have been exceptional. 13 2/3 innings, 0 earned runs. Now, Luke Weaver with the 5-out save yesterday. You heard Matt Blake say we're going to check in with him. Aaron Boone said he is absolutely an option. He threw just 20 pitches, and I caught up with Luke Weaver in the dugout as he was going back into the clubhouse, and I asked him if he was a full go for tonight. He just looked at me in true Luke Weaver, kind of goofy fashion, smiled and said, "Is there any other choice? Rock and roll, baby. Let's do it." So he's good to go. An option for Aaron Boone out of that pen. And since moving into that closer's role, he has been fantastic, Bob. Yeah,
we're going to talk about him coming up in just a little bit. Meredith, thank you for that. We're going to see a little later in the show, and then again on the post game later on. Look forward to that. And Gleyber Torres got a good look at Michael Wacha in Game 1 and homered off the Orioles righty for the big blow in a game that also saw the patient Yanks work some key walks. And then in Game 3, there was some big G-force. We'll talk about the Bombers' offense next here on the FanDuel Yankees pregame.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is presented by FanDuel. New FanDuel customers can get $300 in bonus bets when your $5 bet wins. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today.
This MLB season, FanDuel is taking you out to every ball game. Bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win.
Get 3.9% APR for 36 months plus $1,000 purchase allowance on most 2024 Cadillac models when you finance through Cadillac Financial.
Hi, Eric.
Hi, Mel. Is now good for a quick catch-up on your plan?
Yes, now's great.
Has anything changed since we last spoke?
You know what? Yes, I'm thinking more long-term.
Great. We'll make that change to your plan and adjust as needed.
This helps a lot.
Bye, Mel.
Bye. Make sense of your money with Citizens.
That 808, can you feel that BASS bass?
Love the way you move with intelligent around view monitor on the all-new reimagined Nissan Kicks.
Now get a low $239 per month lease for 36 months on the all-new Nissan Kicks.
It's time for the pregame odds segment presented by FanDuel. The Yankees can punch their ticket to the American League Championship Series tonight. They're favored over the Royals in Game 4, and the over-under is 8. For some player props, Aaron Judge is yet to go deep this series. He's plus 285 to hit a home run. Giancarlo Stanton delivered the game-winning blast in the 8th inning last night. He's plus 390 to hit another one in Game 4. For the Royals, Salvador Perez is plus 420, and Bobby Witt Jr. is plus 450. New FanDuel customers can get $300 in bonus bets when your $5 bet wins. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today.
It has been a pretty even series thus far. The Yankees, of course, have the most important edge with 2 wins to 1. Runs are equal, 11 apiece. Kansas City has the advantage in batting average, but in those last 2 categories, walks and bullpen ERA, the Yanks are dominating. The 22 walks, by the way, are the most by a team through the first 3 games of a postseason series all time. It sets up an elimination game, and the managers talked about how that changes things.
All hands are on deck. You can't let things play out too far. Try to force some things, offensively if we have the opportunities. But the game's going to be the game. It's got to unfold. You can't make something happen until the players have that in their hands. So that's kind of the beauty of this as well. Is there's a lot of things in this game that you have to just let go of, and you don't have control over a lot of it. But the things that you do, you try to put yourself and your players in the best position to succeed.
We want to win today. I mean, simple as that, I think guys are really focused on that. The opponent's really tough, though, so we're going to do all we can to win the game. And hopefully, have that few days of rest. But, we'll just let the game unfold, too.
All right, so we know, as Michael said, the Yankees maybe not tearing the cover off the ball yet, but 22 walks, 30 guys left on base. Jack, there's traffic, and we've seen some at-bats. Aaron Boone last night talking about quality at-bats from some key guys, including Aaron Judge.
The walks are great, and they've helped fuel the offense, but the Yankees still need some timely hits because they have had the traffic on the bases. And I'm glad you brought up Judge, Bob, because I think the Yankees saw some really positive signs from him last night. First of all, the first at-bat he took, the exit velocity on him was 114 miles an hour, a line drive, so it seemed like he was coming into his own. He also put a couple of other balls in play, but I was interested in the fact that his last 2 at-bats were both 6-pitch at-bats, lengthy at-bats where he had a battle. One was a walk. The other one should have been a walk, and he should know what Waka is trying to do to him tonight. He's 1 for 20 with 12 strikeouts in his career. It was a lot of fastball changeups in Game 1. Then the Royals spun it on him, a lot of fastballs and sinkers in Game 2. Game 3, it was slurves and sweepers and curveballs. with Walker back on the mound, I think he's going to see some fastballs and changeups again.
You know, it's interesting listening to both of the managers because they're both acting as if it's a must-win. It's a must-win for the Royals. It's not a must-win for the Yankees. So if the Royals see Michael Walker give up 2 runs in the first inning, they're going to go to the bullpen. If the Yankees see Garrett Cole give up 2 runs in the first inning, they don't have to go to the bullpen. So the Yankees could say they want to end it here. Of course they do. Then they could get everything in order for the ALCS. But the Royals have to manage this game like the elimination game that it is.
Yeah, and the Royals are going to be feeling it. And on the flip side, the Yankees offensively, when they walk into that batter's box tonight, yes, you want to get a big hit, but you don't have to. You don't have to force it tonight. That is a huge difference when you're standing at the plate facing a pitcher in an elimination game. The Royals, and I think their manager just told us, they got to force the action a little bit, and that means probably be aggressive on the base paths if they can get on against Garrett Cole. The Yankees can just kind of do their thing, work walks, and wait for that big hit.
Well, let's take a look at the Royals starting lineup now that will face Garrett Cole, brought to you by Toyota. Bobby Witt Jr. 1 for 13 in this ALDS. Salvador Perez against the Yankees this season, including the postseason. 364, a couple homers, and 6 runs batted in. We also know that Tommy Pham has really good numbers against Cole. 11 and 25, or 29 with 3 doubles and 2 homers. So that's the key for Cole. Just getting some zeros early, Michael. Make them think of it as the clock is running out on the season.
It's an interesting matchup because the Royals are a team that doesn't strike out a lot, and they put the ball in play. And I think that sometimes gives Cole trouble because he is a strikeout pitcher. But what plays in his favor is it's a big ballpark. It's hard to hit the ball out. So a lot of fly balls could be warning track fly balls, simply outs for Garrett Cole. This is a good matchup for the Royals. Although he's a great pitcher, it's going to be interesting to see if he makes any adjustments and not worry about the strikeouts and have him just put the ball in play.
Cole was not himself in Game 1. We talk about 6 swings and misses. That's not who he is. We talk about 11 balls being put in play at 95 miles per hour or more. Garrett Cole is a much better pitcher than that. And Bob, of all those players that you mentioned in that lineup, there's actually an underrated matchup that I'm going to be looking at, and it's one of Cole's former teammates. Yuli Gurriel walked against him twice and also reached base in his 3rd at-bat, and you sort of heard Cole talking about him after the game. One of the at-bats was 11 or 12 pitches. You want to get a pitcher out of the game early? Make him work that much as Gurriel did.
Yeah, Tommy Pham has good numbers against Cole too, but you know, when you're the #1 guy and you start a series, you're kind of feeling out an opposing lineup, and the Kansas City Royals showed Garrett Cole in Game 1 that they're going to be aggressive on anything in the strike zone. I think the next 2 games the Royals showed the Yankee pitching staff they're willing to chase outside of the strike zone if you will let them. I think Garrett's going to learn a lesson from watching the last couple of games. Pitch out of the strike zone, pitch to the corners. Michael, you mentioned the Royals like to put the ball in play. They also like to swing the bats, and I think tonight you're going to see that even more with that pressure of an elimination game, trying to make something happen instead of letting it happen.
And John, I think you'd agree too, and I said this earlier, 9 days off in his last start. You can't tell me that doesn't have some sort of an adverse effect. I think once the Yankees got past Game 3 yesterday, they are now on track as if every other team, now all the pitchers are going to pitch on normal rest. I think that will benefit Cole tonight.
Well, we expect at some point he'll hand off to the Yankees bullpen. And for them last night, it was another scoreless night for the bullpen. Zeros from Clay Holmes, Tommy Kahnle, and Luke Weaver. And coming up next on the FanDuel Yankees pregame, Flash will break down what he's seen from the Yankees relief corps this series. Stick around.
We got Nets.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
So, there's this guy, Paul Rivera, grew up in the Bronx. Made some mistakes, but eventually becomes one of those hard-working citizens who keep our city going. But he gets pulmonary fibrosis, and his only hope is a lung transplant. When one hospital, Montefiore Einstein, get him a new lung, and they give him a new life. Everyone in his neighborhood is like,
they give that guy a new lung or a new motor.
The story, Mr. Giamatti. Well, you ought to know, Mr. Rivera. You lived it.
Hi, I'm Greg. I live in Bloomington, Illinois. I'm not an actor. I'm just a regular person. Some people say, why should I take Prevagen? I don't have a problem with my memory. Memory loss is not something that occurs overnight. I started noticing subtle lapses in memory. I want people to know that Prevagen has worked for me. It's helped my memory. It's helped my cognitive qualities. Give it a try. I want it to help you just like it has helped me.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription.
They say post it or it didn't happen. But out here, in the places we were made for, you'll have to take our word for it. Find somewhere the internet's never been. With the family of Broncos designed to get you there.
Right now, lease a Ford Bronco for $379 a month for 36 months. Only at your local Ford stores.
I don't think I'm a closer. I think I'm a guy who is doing that situation, but I feel like at any point can be put in the situation to try to get some out somewhere else. And I know it's kind of silly, like, you know, I've had a few saves now here and then at the back end of the year, but I think I'm just a man on a mission. Like I'm determined, I'm focused, and I think that even-keeled mindset keeps me calm out there because it's a pretty big situation. I mean, I've watched a lot of this stuff on TV for a while. I had no postseason experience. So this is all first time for me, new stuff. It doesn't feel any different because I'm trying not to let it be different. I'm trying not to let the big moment at first and third at an opposing ballpark in the ninth inning change me. I'm trying to be like, all right, what do I want to do next? How do I want to go about the next pitch, the next hitter? Does it make sense to do this and that? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to make sure that I'm as calm, and I don't want to give away anything to the opposing team as if they think they got me. I want to actually be out there and almost smile like this opportunity is something that I want to own and I want to enjoy more than anything.
Luke Weaver has been dream weaver for the Yankees in their bullpen. The entire bullpen flash has been that way, as we know, and that's why we've got him in our player spotlight, brought to you by your Tri-State Cadillac dealer. Listen, there's a mentality to being a reliever, but when it comes to the playoffs and every pitch is so important, every one of the guys we've seen has to be on point.
Yeah, they have to be on point, but I think Aaron Boone going into this series and now through 3 games, he has shown us what he feels about all of his relievers and the certain situations that he wants them to be pitching in. Everything kind of works out during a series like this where you have your high leverage guys like a Luke Weaver pitching at the end, and then you have the rest of the guys in the middle where maybe there are some situations where you're down a few runs, you're trying to stabilize the game to give your offense a little bit of time. I think after 3 games, we have seen what Aaron Boone feels about every one of his relievers in the pen.
I think some of those guys you're talking about have kind of adopted what Weaver said there, kind of keeping it simple, right, and saying, how do I pitch to my strengths? And we've seen that.
Yeah, I think this comes back to not only analytics, but all around baseball. They're telling pitchers, hey, like a Tim Mesa, if you got a good sinker, throw that pitch a lot and take your chances, try to get some ground balls. We have seen him come into the playoffs, and he's probably a guy that's going to be pitching when the Yankees are behind, but he's going to try to get some valuable outs. Tim Hill's been doing it all year. He's been getting ground balls all year. He's another one of those guys in a situation. Probably you're down a run or two. He gets a ground ball right here. Volpe throws it away, but he did his job. I would put Cousins in this situation too, Bob, but I probably would have had him more as a high leverage guy if he didn't have that injury. Again, the analytics around baseball says if you have a really good slider like he does, throw it as much as you can and try to get some swings and misses. Again, those 3 guys are probably going to be pitching in their lanes, which are going to be times when they're behind by a few runs, the Yankees are, and they're trying to stabilize a game, giving a lineup a chance to come back.
So for Cousins, Hamilton's coming off the IL. He's kind of trying to get in that really good groove again, especially with that slider. Could you say the same thing about Ian Hamilton and where he's at right now?
I think that's a perfect comp right there, because Ian Hamilton, the Yankees know they have a guy with his Slambio and his fastball that can get some really big outs. The trouble, he came into this postseason not throwing the ball great. We saw that hanging slider. There's the good one. So the Yankees know that they have a relief pitcher when they need it in a big spot. He's got the ability to do it. The problem was he came into the postseason not throwing the ball as well as he had at certain points during the season. So I think Aaron Boone is thinking, he's my wild card out there, right? If I need a big out, he might be the guy I can go to, but I'm not quite sure. He's probably going to have to earn it as we keep going here during the postseason.
Well, let's turn our attention now to more of the higher leverage guys, and Clay Holmes has been that in the past, lost the closer role, but he's rediscovered that again because he rediscovered that demon sinker.
Yeah, the sinker has been the pitch that has come back, Bob, and you're right. It is a demon sinker where he can get ground ball after ground ball, weak contact after weak contact. But for some reason, and I've seen a lot of guys that I have caught like this, he looks a lot more comfortable, a lot more aggressive pitching in the middle innings. And, you know, you're not going to dismiss that, because we saw in a game like last night when Clark Schmidt came out of the game and things were getting a little bit tense, Clay Holmes came in there and settled things down and then got the ball to Tommy Kahnle, where he can really feel comfortable starting an inning, right? And I think that's where Clay Holmes comes in, getting the ball to Kahnle.
But here's the deal with Kahnle. The Royals know, and he knows, except for every once in a while when he sprinkles in that fastball, the changeup's coming, right? And he's just going to lean on that pitch.
Yeah, the whole league knows it, right? When he comes in a game, he's going to throw his changeup after his changeup after his changeup. We have seen the really good Tommy Kahnle because he's throwing it for a strike. He's on a really good run right now, and Aaron Boone is going to try to continue that. But again, I'm going to go back to it. I don't think he's going to be the guy to come in the middle of an inning to try to get a big out to settle things down. I think that's going to be Clay Holmes with that sinker. Then you give the ball to Tommy Kahnle maybe an inning later to start an inning clean, knowing that you have your closer who can kind of maybe clean up some of the damage if you get yourself in trouble.
So I'm going to circle back to the start of the segment, because Luke Weaver said, I'm really not a closer. I just want to get important outs whenever I can, as he kind of learns, I guess, to be a closer. So it's an interesting mentality, because there are certain guys who are closers who they're just, I'm the man, and Aroldis Chapman.
Yep.
Mariano never walked around saying he's the man. He just knew he was.
He knew it, and everybody knew it, yeah.
No doubt about it. So they have almost a mentality, and let me, is this fair, that I'm not the man, but I can be the man when you need me to be.
Yeah, whatever role that is, and whenever point of the game you need me, I can be the man. And Luke Weaver is going to say, I'm not the closer, I'm not the man. We watch these highlights, Bob. Watch him jump off the mound. That tells me that he's the man, right? And he believes in his stuff and how good it is. And body language, and you know this, we worked together for so many years, is huge to me. When I see somebody standing out on the mound, and, you know, we always used to say back in the day, he's standing crooked, feeling really good about himself. That is Luke Weaver right now. And it was huge for him to get into game one, to pick up a save in that game, and walk off the mound saying in his mind, okay, I got the first one over with. He might not have been saying, I'm the man, but everybody watching around is thinking, boy, he looked like the man to me tonight. He could be a huge part of this postseason run.
Now, let's add one more layer to that. In game 3, he got a 5-out save, and he came in, and you kind of noticed maybe he was a little twitchy, but to his point earlier, he finds a way to slow it down and get big outs and pitches when he needs to.
Again, the body language in the 8th inning for me, I was kind of watching, and he looked a little more jittery than we have seen, and I was really locked in the 9th inning. Didn't see any of that. So I think the time in the dugout, just to kind of take a couple of deep breaths, regroup, and get back out there. But I'm going to go back to this, Bob. Being a closer is so different because you don't have anybody waiting behind you if you get in trouble to clean up your mess. Luke Weaver has been flawless so far.
There's no safety net out here either. You know that, right?
But you always got my back if I mess up.
No doubt. We got to take another break on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. And with a chance to clinch the series, the Yanks will give the ball to their ace. We're going to tell you what to expect from Garrett Cole next here on Yes and the Yes app.
Class-leading safety features at every turn. A
Hyundai Tucson. Lease an all-wheel drive Tucson for $229 a month, or get 1.99% APR or up to $1,250 bonus cash. Hurry in.
From the city to the suburbs to the sand. With the nation's highest cardiac success rates, Northwell faces what others call untreatable and says, not today. Northwell, raise health.
That 808, can you feel that BASS bass?
Love the way you move with intelligent around view monitor on the all-new reimagined Nissan Kicks.
Now get a low $239 per month lease for 36 months on the all-new Nissan Kicks.
Oh my God! Gunner's Powerhouse NYC, starring A Boogie with the Hoodie, Gunner, Sexy Red, Cash Cobain and Bass Wag, Boss Man D-Lo, Jordan Anatunji, plus more. October 26th at the Potential Center. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
It's great to catch up, Jamie. How's business?
Good. Are you up to speed with the new beneficial ownership reporting requirements?
Sort of. What's it about?
It's a new initiative to help fight crimes like money laundering, fraud, and drug trafficking. A lot of small businesses like ours just have to report some basic info to the federal government about the real people behind them.
Does that include my cafe?
There are some exemptions for certain companies, but don't worry. There's lots of guidance on the government's website about who needs to file. Check out fincen.gov/BOI. Filing is easy and free. It took me less than 20 minutes.
Looks like I do have to file. Thanks, Jamie. It's great having a supportive business community.
Reporting beneficial ownership information helps protect U.S. national security. Filing is quick, secure, and free. And it's the law. Learn more at fincen.gov/BOI.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees.
A look at tonight's pitching matchup courtesy of Nissan. It's a Game 1 rematch. Garrett Cole against Michael Wacha. That was in the Bronx. Cole lasted 5. Wacha lasted 4. And in that game, Jack, Garrett Cole against the Royals, they made a lot of really solid contact. You figure he's going to tidy that up tonight.
Yeah, there were some rockets in this game. This is the 4th pitch of the game to Bobby Witt Jr., and he tattoos it to left center field. Aaron Judge does a nice job running it down. So if you're Cole and the fastball gets hit, go to the knuckle curve. He gets Vinny Pasquantino right there for the whiff. But he has to go back to the fastball against MJ Melendez, and he reaches out. That was on the outside corner, and Melendez is able to send that into the right field seats for a 2-run homer. Cole trying to stop the bleeding. He is able to come back against Isbell, and that's a nice little cutter under the bat. I spoke with Pasquantino during the workout. He said, I know Cole likes to throw fastballs up in the zone. He knew it. He didn't swing at it. Another whiff right there for Cole.
So, guys, take a look at these numbers. Royals had 11 hard hit balls against him in Game 1. That's a season high. 10 sliders that he threw. The Royals went 4 for 4 against it. And 6 swings and misses. That was it out of his 80 pitches. So it was a grind, but then we also know that between starts, the guy is like a master technician looking at tape of the game and spin rates and everything. So you figure that's going to change for him tonight.
Well, we heard Michael talk about it. We heard the pitching coach, Matt Blake, talk about it. Getting back on your regular routine, you expect his stuff, his location, his life, his spin to be so much better tonight. But I think about Garrett Cole in the totality of his year when he got hurt in spring training, missed all that time the first half. Now he has an opportunity to rebound after a poor start in Game 1. And, Michael, I would say the only expectation you can have for him in this game is to dominate and win this game. That's what he's paid for. That's what the expectations are.
Absolutely. And when you think about it, this is a guy who is very successful in ALDS games, and he's coming off a game with subpar. He is a perfectionist. And there's another thing that could happen tonight, too. The Yankee offense could help him out. Put up a crooked number and make it a little less stressful. Every single pitch doesn't have to be the end of the world. I think every pitcher is seeing that these runs are really hard to come by. That's what happens in the playoffs sometimes. But you know what? The Dodgers scored 8 runs yesterday. The Yankees could do it.
When Cole signed with the Yankees, he had a very famous phrase or quote. He said, "Pressure is a privilege." And Michael's right. The offense could make everyone's night a lot easier. But if that doesn't happen, the guy who could make the night more comfortable for Aaron Boone and Matt Blake and anyone who is rooting for the Yankees is Garrett Cole. He has the stuff and the talent to shut down this Kansas City lineup. They are a contact team. They do put the ball in play. But I think he's going to have learned a lot from what didn't work for him in Game 1.
They'd love for him to go 6 or 7, hand off to the bullpen. And in terms of the bullpen budget, it was Weaver, Canely, and Holmes last night. Everybody else would be definitely available. But then, Mike, you heard what Matt Blake said. He basically said that, and you heard Aaron Boone pregame as well, that those guys were pretty pitch efficient. They could easily be seen tonight.
I love the budget. Love it. It's one of my favorite things that we do. But you just throw it away. Everybody's available to pitch. I don't think you overextend them because you do have some wiggle room with a possible Game 5. I know everybody in the Royals is available. And the 3 guys that pitched for the Yankees yesterday, as you said, they didn't throw a lot of pitches. So I think you try to get 6 out of Cole. You hope for that. But if not, I think you could cover 12 outs.
Do or die for the Royals, but if you're the Yankees, have that same mentality. And if you're Aaron Boone, you need to go for the kill in this game. So that means if you see something in Cole that you don't think the matchup is favorable, you have arms that you can go to. Their bullpen has not allowed an earned run in these 3 games against the Royals. It's been one of the strengths. I do not think Boone will hesitate to go to those relievers.
Well, I want to bring that bullpen budget back because I just don't throw it out, Michael. You bring it back.
Yeah, I love it.
And when we saw the innings and how many pitches these guys have thrown, they're ready to go tonight. Plus, you add on, thank you very much for bringing that back. Plus, you add on the adrenaline, the excitement of being in this game, and the ability to try to close it out on the road. I think everybody obviously is available, but it comes down to Garrett Cole. Bob and I just broke it down during our segment on the bullpen and where all these guys fit in. You want to worry about Clay Holmes, Tommy Canely, and Weaver. It has to go from Garrett Cole to maybe those 3 guys, maybe 2 of them.
Is it going to be on social media now that we're fighting? Can we hold hands, please?
Oh, boy. Yeah, we don't do that on the set. The Yankees scored 3 runs off Michael Wacha in Game 1. How will they attack the Royals starting pitcher in Game 4? We talk about that coming up next on the FanDuel Yankees Pregame.
This is not just any hybrid. This is the Ford F-150 Hybrid. With a Power Boost hybrid powertrain, you get both gas power and electric energy for impressive performance. Paired with an available 7.2 kilowatt Pro Power onboard generator for when and wherever you need it. Tough this smart can only be called F-150. Right now, returning lessees can lease the Ford F-150 for $299 a month for 24 months. Only at your local Ford stores.
This is you, and this is your powerful hunch. The kind of hunch that hits hard during the game.
The Eagles look strong.
And while the game moves fast, with FanDuel, you're faster.
This kicker doesn't miss.
With FanDuel, it's easier than ever to place your bet before the next play, so you won't let a hunch go to waste.
Touchdown!
And make every moment more.
Winner, winner, lobster dinner.
New customers bet $5, get $300 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
Well, if you want my 2 cents on interest rates, we got options.
My 2 cents. This one's priced to sell. My 2 cents?
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 Here's my 2 cents. I'm planning for the future. Interest plus interest equals more interest. Come on, Bill. You can get that.
Hi, Joan. Perfect timing. I have a few questions.
Of course. Let's look at your plan.
Dear road rivals, no truck on the road drives value like the Tundra. Day after day, mile after mile, it all adds up to big savings under the hood. What's under yours? Toyota Tundra.
Right now, lease a new Tundra for just $479 a month or get 1.99% APR for a full 60 months. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Yankees. Win tonight, and their next game would be Monday in the Bronx for the start of the American League Championship Series. Our pregame coverage for games 1 and 2 would begin at 6:30. If the Royals win tonight and the ALDS stretches to a Game 5, it would be Saturday at Yankee Stadium with our coverage starting at 7 o'clock. All right, good to have you back once again. Let's talk about the Yankees facing Michael Wacha tonight again, a rematch of Game 1. And in that game, they made Michael Wacha work. It took him 70 pitches to get through just 4 innings.
Yeah, we're talking about Garrett Cole wanting another shot at it. Well, Michael Wacha is going to be feeling the same way. And when you look at the pitch breakdown of Wacha, he really likes his changeup, and he has a good one. That's to Aaron Judge in the first inning. On a 3-2 count, he will elevate the fastball to try to get some swings and misses. But Gleyber Torres got to him on a sinker out over the plate. That's going to be a 2-run shot in the seats that got the Yankees going a little bit. But Michael Wacha is one of those guys, a veteran pitcher, who's trying to save the season for the Royals. Can he go out there and maybe give them 5 innings, hand it over to the bullpen?
Well, those are the at-bats that the Yankees have had in their career against Michael Wacha. Gleyber, not a lot of success except that big home run. Aaron Judge, we know, needs to turn things around. So there are a lot of guys that want to probably at least, Michael, have the same approach that they had in Game 1 against Wacha and make him work a little.
No, I don't want to take anything away from Wacha because he's a professional. He's been around a long time. He's been effective. He's not an overpowering guy. There's really no excuse for you not being shut down in this. You shouldn't be shut down. In the first game, they had runners on second and third, nobody out, and they didn't score. You can't do that. You've had traffic on the bases. You've walked 22 times in the series. You should be scoring way more runs than you've scored. Michael Wacha is not Nolan Ryan. He's not Clayton Kershaw. He's a nice pitcher that you should be able to hit.
But here's what makes him so deceptive and so tricky, that fastball changeup combination. There is a 12-mile gap between the fastball and the changeup. No pitcher in the major leagues has a bigger disparity between those two pitches. You also ask about a pitch that he's thrown for his entire career. He's thrown it slower this season, 6 miles slower than he did only a couple of years ago. So that's a guy who knows what works for him and is continuing to try and improve. The changeup is what has helped make his career successful, but he's continued to tinker with it.
Well, as we got to take a break, but as the situations continue to evolve, the American Red Cross is providing relief in numerous states severely impacted by Hurricanes Helene and Milton, which brought heavy rains and catastrophic flooding to devastated communities. A reminder that donations to the disaster relief operations can be made at redcross.org. We'll be back with more game coverage of Game 4 right after this.
We got nets. That 808, can you feel that BASS bass?
Love the way you move with intelligent around view monitor on the all-new reimagined Nissan Kicks.
Now get a low $239 per month lease for 36 months on the all-new Nissan Kicks.
Get 3.9% APR for 36 months plus $1,000 purchase allowance on most 2024 Cadillac models when you finance through Cadillac Financial.
For years, one company has battled to deliver business products the next day with no freight charges. Now, WB Mason, with their famous fleet of trucks and drivers, faces their biggest challenge, rescuing shipping and packaging buyers from expensive freight charges. That's right. Now, boxes, stretch film, and packaging tape are delivered the very next day at amazingly low prices. So, who do you call for fast delivery and no expensive freight charges? Who but WB Mason?
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
Memorable moments presented by Prevagen, the #1 pharmacist recommended memory support brand. This date in 2012, Game 3 of the ALDS, one out in the ninth, and Raul Ibanez delivers a pinch hit game-tying homer to lead to some bedlam in the Bronx. George Girardi made the move to put in Ibanez for A-Rod, and it paid off twice over when he added a walk-off homer in the 12th inning. Yankees took a 2-1 lead in the series and went on to knock out the Orioles. And Michael and Jack, you both remember that game well.
I'm glad you mentioned Girardi, because think about the situation. Alex Rodriguez is his #3 hitter. At that point, Alex Rodriguez had over 600 home runs in his career, and George Girardi said, I like the matchup of getting a lefty up there because we know Jim Johnson threw those sinkers. So Ibanez swings at the first pitch to tie the game up. Then he comes up left on left against Mattis 3 innings later and makes Girardi look like the ultimate genius because he hits a walk-off home run. I'll remember the Ibanez home runs. I do remember them, but I'll remember the gutsy call by Girardi.
I was in the camera well on the third base side, ready to go on the field to do an interview, and I mean, everybody that was there was absolutely stunned that Girardi actually had the onions to pinch hit for Alex Rodriguez. 3 years earlier, he helped you win a world championship. He carried the Yankees on his back. It was stunning. There's one of the greatest players of all time, and he decided to lift him. We thought there was maybe something wrong with A-Rod. The thing that was wrong is that Joe didn't trust him anymore because he hadn't been hitting in the postseason, and he goes to Ibanez, and as Jack said, he looked like a genius because he pushed the right button. That right there, if you pinch it for A-Rod and Ibanez doesn't come true, that's almost a fireable offense.
Yeah, the managers tonight, by the way, want to have that big moment in the right way in their favor. As we get back to our game earlier, Meredith caught up with Jazz Chisholm Jr., and it's our quote of the day, courtesy of Citizens Made Ready.
Thanks, Bob. I'm with Jazz Chisholm Jr. Jazz, Alex Verdugo talked earlier, and even though it's not a win or go home situation for you guys, he said that's the way he's treating tonight's game. Just what's it been like in that clubhouse as you guys were preparing to potentially punch your ticket to the ALCS?
I mean, the preparations have been great. Everybody stayed positive. Everybody stayed excited to go out there every day. Everybody's had each other's backs, and I feel like that's what we have tonight, you know. Every game we've been treating like a win or go home, and it's not going to change tonight.
Yesterday you were greeted by this Kansas City crowd, and it seemed like you were thriving off of some of those boos. You said they don't boo nobodies here. How much does that motivate you out there?
I mean, it motivates me a lot, man. I mean, like, just to think of, like, a crowd, that's just acknowledgement, you know, to me. You know, going out there, getting under their skin, being a player that they boo, and if I was here, I'm sure they'd be clapping, you know what I mean? But it's the other way around, so getting boos in a away stadium ain't so bad to me. That means I'm doing something right.
You guys face Michael Wacha in Game 1 of this series. What's the biggest key in trying to get to him early and often tonight?
Just coming through in big spots when we got runners in scoring position, runners in second, runners on third base, just coming through tonight.
Talk about coming through in big spots. Giancarlo Stanton did just that last night. What have you thought of his performance so far this postseason?
I mean, he has a great performance so far. You know, we've basically been leaning on his back so far. So, I mean, it's all a team thing. We all have each other's backs, and he's got all of our backs right now. He's carrying all of us.
Ready to go?
Yeah, ready to go.
Jazz, thanks for the time. Good luck tonight.
Thank you so much.
Send it back to you, Bob.
Thank you, Meredith. Let's check tonight's marquee matchup brought to you by your local Ford stores. The Yankees are certainly working solid at bats in the postseason. They rank first in walk, chase, and swing percentage, and they also see the most pitches per plate appearances, and that can set the stage for some big hits. And in Game 3, those came courtesy of Big G.
0-2 down, and here is Giancarlo. Stanton hits one well in the gap. It's an RBI double.
The Yankees take a 1-0 lead.
That ball was a 1-iron.
That's just Big G. Comes up with big hits when we need him.
Stanton goes, and he steals the base. How do you like that?
Forget about it. It's gone.
A Stantonian home run. And the Yankees take the lead with 6 outs to go.
Got the one he was looking for and didn't miss it.
This night has belonged to Giancarlo Stanton.
Dear unbreakable spirit, when the terrain is gnarly, you steady us. When obstacles are ahead, you lift us. When the turf is hostile, you inspire us. Own a legend. Toyota Trucks.
Right now, you can lease a rugged new 2024 Tacoma for just $339 a month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Is now good for a quick catch-up on your plan?
Yes, now's great.
Has anything changed since we last spoke?
You know what? Yes, I'm thinking more long-term.
Great. We'll make that change to your plan and adjust as needed.
This helps a lot.
Bye, Mel.
Bye. Make sense of your money with Citizens.
What's the score of the game?
The new Hyundai Elantra with America's best warranty. There's joy in every journey. Lease a Hyundai Elantra for only $159 a month, or get 1.99% APR or up to $1,500 bonus cash. Hurry in.
I'm Naheem Hines, professional football player and proud supporter of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. My mom was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy when I was 14, and I watched her struggle. But MDA helped her get the best treatments and care, and they also help kids like my buddy Ethan.
My name is Ethan. Thanks to the Muscular Dystrophy Association and people like you, I have more hope than ever before. From day one, they've treated me like family at my local care center. MDA is the only one that funds over 150 care centers across the U.S. to help provide state-of-the-art care for adults and kids like me.
MDA has been transforming the lives of people living with muscular dystrophy, ALS, and other related neuromuscular diseases. They fund the research for breakthrough treatments, care, and cures. And MDA provides support to thousands of families like mine and Ethan's in communities like yours. Thanks to MDA, kids and adults can live life to its fullest. Join us and learn more at MDA.org today.
Those highlights were presented by Hyundai. On to some other things to watch for tonight. Garrett Cole has a career 0.84 ERA at Kauffman Stadium with 0 home runs allowed. Another 0. That's how many earned runs the Yankees bullpen has given up this series. And striking first could be key. The Yanks are 67-23 when they get on the board. First, 5th best in the majors. Then keep an eye on Tommy Pham. He has got good numbers off Garrett Cole. But Cole has good numbers at Kauffman Stadium. You know, they don't play the games on paper, but if they did, sets up good for Cole, but got to find a way to keep their big hitters quiet.
Yeah, we came into this series talking about Bobby Witt Jr., who's already a star player, but maybe raising his national profile, and he hasn't done it so far. The Yankees have done a great job of keeping him down 1 for 13 in this series, and there was an opportunity last night when Bobby Witt Jr. got on base to try to steal a bag and get in scoring position. He did not do that, and if you're Garrett Cole and the rest of the pitching staff, you can make your life a whole lot easier if you keep Bobby Witt Jr. quiet again.
Witt Jr. will try and energize the Royals and energize that crowd, and I think the Royals are going to need it. They have not won a home game since September 8th. They played 7 times. They've only scored 12 runs. They've only had 1 home run in that period. That obviously includes the loss to the Yankees yesterday. So if you're the Yankees and you can jump out early, as Bob talked about the Yankees record when they do jump out early, then you're going to see Aaron Boone and his coaches and the players in the dugout. They're going to be counting outs because they are the team that can leave that ballpark tonight knowing that they're moving to the next round.
So they haven't won at home in a while. I'll give you a positive stat if you're a Royals fan. I don't know how you're watching this show, but they are 10-1 in elimination games in the playoffs since 1985. 10-1. Obviously a different team, obviously a different situation, but all signs point that the Yankees should win this game, that their best pitcher on the mound. And bottom line is, I know he does not have much success against Walker. Just watching Judge yesterday, the way he looked at the plate, he's getting closer. I think that he might do some damage today.
The theme of this show so far in the entire series who's coming up with the big hit. Last night it was one man. It was Giancarlo Stanton. Just makes you wonder, who is that one guy tonight that with a couple guys on base comes up with that big swing?
Is it going to be Austin Wells, right? We talked all year long. Who's protecting Soto and Judge? Wells and Stanton. Stanton got it done last night. Maybe Wells tonight.
All right, guys, great stuff. That's it for us. The game itself, of course, is on TBS or streaming on Max. But immediately after, you know the drill. Come on back to Yes. We'll have complete post-game coverage of Game 4. Coltrane about to run in Kansas City. Enjoy the ball game. We'll see you later on Yes.
That 808, can you feel that BASS bass? All I know